Hello, everyone. Good morning and welcome back to the Climate Transformation Summit. We had a super amazing first day. Thanks for all of your energy and thanks for coming back this morning. I already saw some of you might have needed a coffee to come back into the energy level of yesterday. But keep introducing yourself again in the chat. I think that works perfectly fine. And maybe you also want to share with the others what was a moment you still remember from yesterday, like a quote or the most motivating solution that was shared. I would be super happy to read that here, and please share with others what was your aha moment from yesterday. What was the thing that sticked out? So I'm gonna look in the chat and see if someone dares to share what was their moment from yesterday. So far, I just see a lot of coffees, which I also just had. I think that is super much needed. Anyone who can share what was their moment from yesterday that they want to share with the others and remember what sticked out. There is a quote from Paula. She said, "We act like 2030 was a magic date, but what we need is no deadline, but acting now." Yeah, I very much agree. Thank you for that, Nicole. And many aha moments from Susanne. That's also nice to hear. Inspirational talk from Paula. Great. So I'm going to look into that later again. And I'm super happy to be back. Actually, it was a longer evening as well, but I'm gonna show you later what has happened. So first of all, for everyone who might be today here for the first day, welcome to the Climate Transformation Summit. It's an online conference all about the climate community. So be welcome to be part of it. And what we have these two interactive days for is really sharing best practices for decarbonization in companies and their supply chains. And the overarching theme is making it happen, because we do see there are a lot of regulations out there. Many companies have already targets, but what we need is bringing the solutions into actions. So that is what the summit is all about, inspiring each other, sharing knowledge, how we can really take the next step. And this is a big mission that we are not fulfilling alone. We are super happy to have a lot of partners with us, but also a lot of speakers, innovators, people who are sharing in their workshops their knowledge. So there are too many to name them all, but we are super, super grateful to have them. And before we go into today's action, I quickly want to move you through what happened yesterday. And so you are on top of it if you have your first day today. So what we had was an introduction into the political framework that is right now framing everything that's happening on the market, which kind of climate actions we actually need. We heard from German Zero that they're actually lobbying 5,000 solutions to be implemented in Germany to reach that target of being climate neutral in 2035, a very ambitious goal. So they are working on the political side. Then we had a main panel where we talked about how are these political frameworks, regulations tying into climate actions in companies, and is it not maybe hindering us even? And the whole panel said there are guidelines that we have to fill with practice so that they are not just words on paper. Then we had our workshops, some of them super interactive, that is just a small picture of it. Everyone really going into brainstorming and action mode. And after that, we had our online pitches. We had a lot of visitors at the booth, conversations going, and then 2 afternoon fireside chats where we looked into what do companies really need to do, and not only the big company as such, but like more the decision makers in companies. How does it feel if now all these things are changing within your company? How do you get people on board? How do you have to maybe train skills, use different tools, such as science-based targets, but then go from there into, we had the word scenarios, and then again into actions and really reframing your business models and recreating products and services. And in the evening, as said, there were 2 events. So one was in Hamburg, online and offline. I joined there and gonna show you later what we touched on, and then the offline event in Berlin. And online it looked like this. We had in Hamburg people sitting at the river, as I saw, and we talked a lot about Scope 3 and the actual challenges actually happening there. And in the offline event in Berlin, it looked a little bit more cordial, I would say, and we had a nice sunset. So Yasha from our team was there, and that was also a very nice evening. And from that, we come to today's mission of the summit, which is, I would say, really the core and the heart of the whole summit. Because we touched yesterday on what is really the overarching theme in climate in general, it's that we have, as a global community, set the goal to become climate neutral at latest in 2050. And we see that from all climate facts, that's really what we have to go towards. It's not a goal that is set by dreams, so to say, but by planetary boundaries. And that actually the next 10, or not even 10 years now, 7 years are the crucial decade to really set the theme of staying well below 2 degrees, and it needs actions for that. And we do know that the actions we have to implement are not unknown, quite the contrary. We see that these 10 areas are the key areas where we have to implement solutions. It all starts always with renewables and divesting from fossil fuels, but then it also goes into electronic transport, retrofitting of buildings, and using natural or nature-based solutions. And it all ties in different industries, and it all ties to different companies. And what we see by that, and we had already started yesterday, always a little bit of this discussion, is that companies are not alone in taking these actions, that actually most of the emissions are in the supply chain. So if we really want to level up climate actions and management, we have to think across industries, across supply chains, and level up actions. And that is a term you're going to hear today a lot, Scope 3. I quickly already want to introduce it, so it's not totally new. We do see that emissions of a company are created, so to say, in different steps in their production, in their value chain, upstream and downstream. So before the company is actually producing its own part, and then after they are selling and shipping it out of their office, so to say. And there are 15 different categories, and the indirect ones are the ones that are upstream and downstream. So where actually the company is not really directly part of, but where their suppliers are producing and selling products and services to them, where they are shipping, where they are using others' goods. And then also after the company, when they are like really having the product going out of the production, until the customer actually end the state of recycling or landfill and so on. So all of these areas are huge, and they're all covered in Scope 3. And we're going to explore today a lot what this means, why that challenge is so huge, and why we have to look at it. And very shortly, I think all of us know already, in Scope 3, there are most of the emissions. Here you have an overview from different industries. Everything that's orange is Scope 3. You don't have to see everything, so you get the notion. It's mostly the major part. It can be up to 90% and more in different industries and different companies. And it's one key area that we cannot overlook. And we don't want to overlook it, and the pressure is on because actually the EU is also working on forbidding kind of claims. They don't want to have climate just a buzzword. We really want to have it as an actionable framework. And that is what we see nowadays, that companies are not longer just looking into their CO2 and then maybe going in climate neutral by offsetting, but really they have to show also, especially on the financial markets, so that is an overview from Financial Times, how they are managing these climate emissions. So everything that's happening also indirectly from your supply chain. You have to show how you're reducing emissions, if you actually can report on your Scope 3 emissions, and which actions you are taking to bring those down. So also science-based targets, again, is one indicator to show, are you really setting goals for your supply chain? And that is what today's summit day is all about. The second day, bringing climate management really to the next level, looking beyond your office door, going outside, integrating your stakeholders. That can be business partners and suppliers. For others, this might be also their customers. And we're going to have a lot of discussion around it, workshops, panels. And together, we really look forward to how do we create that vision of 2050 that we all want to see true, of a climate compatible economy, where businesses and their supply chains really take responsibility and actions. And with that, I'm gonna introduce you to today. So what is coming up is, as you have seen yesterday when you were here already, the lobby where you find all the information. So the agenda is in there, the panels, workshops, online fair, everything is locked and connected and linked. So please always use the lobby to navigate, and I quickly remind you where to click. You view the schedule. There you can always just go when the session is opening up. You can go backstage or like into the session and be part of it. In the launch, you have the online fair. So we're gonna have pitches again this afternoon. And then the chance to visit people at the booth. You're going to find your challenge. Everyone is connected to some booth. So to make sure you're going to visit them and get your extra points for the leadership board. So maybe also a quick reminder for that. We're going to reward the most interactive audience member. And then on the very right, you find your messages, personal notes. You can connect to everyone and be part of that community by really networking and making sure you get the most out of it. And that's it from my side. Biggest thanks goes out to the team. So they are all in the back here to help you, especially also at the info booth. If there are any questions, we will always help it, and you can chat with them or just have a video call. So please always reach out. We want to make you feel very comfortable and guide you through everything in the best way. And then as well, thanks today for our partners being part of the sessions, supporting, organizing, and helping us to set up the whole scene. And from here, most important, thanks to every one of you being here with your triple coffee today, bringing in the energy, participating, and making climate transformation happen. And from that, you get already the first connection challenge of today. So as introduced before, you find on top actually the personal messages, and you can pick just 2 people that you find just next to it. There's also a people button. You can see who's already online this morning, and you choose 2 people to connect with them, someone whom you don't know yet, whom you haven't been writing with yesterday, and you can tell them what is your preferred climate action that you are maybe taking in your personal life already and or company. So maybe walking instead of taking the car, drinking more water than coffee, having a cold shower, I don't know. So would be nice. You're gonna share with others, and you learn which kind of climate actions others are already taking. And while you're doing that, I'm going to introduce you to actually our today's ambassador. So we had yesterday a greeting, and we're going to have one today. And I first have to stop presenting to make that happen. And then you're going to find out who it is.
Welcome to the Climate Transformation Summit. I'm Antje von Dewitz, CEO of VAUDE and also member of the board of the Bundesverband Nachhaltige Wirtschaft, the German Sustainable Business Association. When I was a child, I wanted to find my place where I could contribute in saving the world. I did several traineeships in NGOs like women's and environmental organizations and several media and cultural stations. My last traineeship was at the company of my father at VAUDE. And I was really, really surprised what I found there. I was surprised about the level of responsibility you can overtake in your own company, in businesses. I didn't know that you can overtake so much responsibility towards the own team in creating good, trustful, rewarding working conditions, towards the customer in creating functional, high quality, sustainable products, towards production partners and their employers, their employees, in contributing to fair and environmental friendly working conditions, towards society in taking a stand and overtaking responsibility holistically. So when I overtook the company in 2009, I had the vision of fulfilling all these different levels of responsibility and of making my own children proud. They should know that we as a company and I as their mother really put in a great effort to take our stand in protecting this planet and their future. So during the last 15 years, our whole team spent a lot of time, effort, money, and nerves on transforming our complex international supply chains, our materials, our products, our chemistry. And we've come pretty far. More than 90% of our products carry the very strict sustainable label Green Shape. More than 70% of our products are already made out of recycled or bio-based materials, and so on. And at the moment, our biggest task lies in supporting our Asian producers and material suppliers to invest in energy efficiency measures and to switch to alternative energies. So we really have a lot of challenges to go on, but we've already passed a lot of challenges. My biggest learning on this way, on this journey, is it is possible to create change, even in a family-owned, middle-sized business in an international, very competitive branch. And secondly, it is ironically very tough in our economical system to overtake responsibility. And you only have a chance of doing it economically successful if you commit yourself systemically and professionally to this task. And thirdly, this is the very substance that you need to make your company fit for the future and to be regarded as a trusted and relevant partner, employer, or brand for the future. And last but not least, I think this journey of transformation is enormously rewarding, even though the challenges seem sometimes overboarding. On this way, you will find so many great allies that together you will gain so much energy, joy, and most importantly, synergies and leverage that you always find the strength and the optimism together to go on. In this spirit, I wish you a great time on the Climate Transformation Summit with many valuable insights and impulses and the joy of connecting with potential allies. All the best.
Well, I think that set the scene well for today. So hearing that, the challenges I think are everywhere the same going into supply chains, that's the biggest part. So that is what we're going to talk about today and find out the solutions or best practices that some companies and decision makers are already using. And with